Hey, folks, welcome to the Green Effect Podcast, Season 4, Episode 11. We got some stuff to talk about. It has been a crazy week with this whole federal budget, the market in general. Like, we have a lot of stuff. So, if you want to get caught up on what the heck's going on, man, this is the place to be. So, I'm going to get into the federal budget because there's a few things in there that really are sticking out. And a lot of people are talking about it. And I've had some time to kind of have a look at everything, and listen to some really reputable people, do my own research, do some number crunching. And, you know, the divide in our country is insane. I'll say that. I don't think I've ever seen Canada as much of a mess as it is right now. And so I'm mid 40s. Okay. Now, again, I've said this before. I've never lived through a world war. So that aside, I've never seen I've never seen our country so messed up before. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Wanted to give you an update on the market because, as we always do, we want to give you a quick update on the market. So, real estate market, of course. I'm definitely not doing investments or anything like that. So the market, oh man, it's a funny one too. Again, more funny stuff going on in Canada. So we're definitely seeing a lot more activity. I have been incredibly busy. Okay. Busy with everything from pre-approval. So clients who now want to buy a home or they've been waiting, now they're getting off the sidelines a little bit, but also very busy with refinances. Okay. Big part of it, of course, is the services we offer with the Financial Collective and trying to do as much planning as possible for clients and that sort of thing. But it has been very busy. I'm hearing a lot of multiple offers on properties. Okay. And I always say this to people. Usually the multiples and the activity, it slowly trickles down the 401. So Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, as an example, has had many multiple offers. Okay. Has not been as aggressive from what I'm hearing, in Mississauga, Peel region, Halton region. The Kitchener, Waterloo, the price is low. And we've got a lot of realtors who price stuff low and then let the market take over from there. We're seeing 20, 30 offers on properties. But now it's starting to trickle down the 401. So I'm hearing Brantford. We had one client try to get a place in Brantford. I think one of 7, one of 8 had to go firm. Right, we're back to that whole world again. And then it's starting to happen more in London, St. Thomas, etc. We're seeing 4 or 5 offers, etc. So from that perspective, the market is heating up. And of course, like I've said before, stats that have come out are indicating prices are going up, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Okay. So rate wise, man, rates are funny. Rates are really, really funny right now, where we're seeing, I think, getting back to being used to up and down a little bit here and there, right? As the bond market kind of moves. Bond market's been moving a lot once it hears some of the information that's been coming out, whether it's inflation, okay, which I'll be honest with you, I just realized I didn't even put in my notes to talk about inflation because this federal budget has been such a thing. And inflation, I'll maybe do that on next week's episode, but inflation I think went up by 0.1. Like, it wasn't very much anyway. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because I didn't prep. I've done so much work prepping for this federal budget fiasco. I didn't even get into inflation, but just really quickly, inflation went up a titch, like 0.1. Without doing too much research, it was from gas, okay, because summer gas is here apparently. I don't know if that caught up. Summer gas issue, I think, was just last week. But gas is up for sure. And of course, housing prices, living expenses. So mortgages and rental income is also up. So no big shocker. That's what it's going to be. Here, fact check me. Tell me I'm wrong. That's probably what it is. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. Yeah. So rates are, again, any sort of little information that comes out, again, like inflation, etc. We are seeing the bond market, and again, remember, bond market is relative to fixed rates. We're seeing some movement there, but not like 1% movement, 0.1 here, 0.2, 0.3 up and down. So not huge changes. What I will say we're seeing though is less movement on rate discount requests for clients through the banks. Okay, so to explain how this goes, we have a rate that we can offer a client, and then once the deal goes into the underwriter and the lender, we have a look and we send in a rate request, say, hey, we like to get this rate or whatever, right? And so we're seeing a lot less of those rates being offered from the lenders, right? Where it's like a 0.08 lower, 0.05 lower, that sort of thing. So that has definitely been tightened up quite a bit. Okay. All right. Anyway, market update honestly is not as big as the stuff I want to talk about relative to the federal budget. So let's just get on with that. All right. I want to talk about a couple things, and I might jump around. And for those of you watching me on video, you're going to see me kind of looking up. I'm just looking up my notes. I don't usually do notes for podcasts. This one I made some notes because I definitely had to do some research on this one and make sure I kind of had an operating handle on what the heck happened, okay, with the federal budget. Because we're hearing a lot of crazy stuff with I guess how people are interpreting it, stuff like that. All right. So let's hit off one part of this that I really want to address because I was a little bit irritated by this, and I don't know. So the federal government likes to bring up stuff like it's their own idea, put it in a charter, and say, boom, we have a renter's charter, we have a mortgage charter. Well, they mentioned in the federal budget about halal mortgages. So for those of you who don't know, and again, I am not an expert, so please, if I call it something wrong, it's just because I'm trying to explain something very high level, okay? So halal mortgages, they've been around for a while. People think this just got announced. Like, oh my God, it's a brand new thing that's happening. So I know a little bit about this because when I first moved over to the broker channel, I inquired. I had realtors who were of the Muslim faith, if that's the correct way to word that, ask me about it because their clients were asking. So, well, basically, what a halal mortgage is taking the interest that you would normally pay on a mortgage and basically rolling it into the mortgage from an APR, annual percentage rate perspective, roughly, kind of, sort of. Okay, so in the Muslim faith, and again, I'm not Muslim, so if this is worded wrong, please tell me and or put it in the comments. Okay. Basically, I believe it's not part of the religion where you pay interest. You have to pay profit or something like that. But basically, they're not allowed, I don't think, to pay interest. So halal mortgages, where that has come from, is I guess they take the interest that they would normally pay, make it part of the mortgage. Now they're not paying interest; they're just paying a mortgage at a higher rate to make up for the interest, something along those lines. Okay, and yes, I understand what I'm saying is they're not paying interest, but it's rolled into the mortgage at a rate. I understand that. Okay, but it's the way it's worded. Again, I think they can't pay interest in that faith. They have to pay profit. Again, not Muslim folks, but it's been around for a while, and some people are thinking, I'm seeing on social media and whatever, that people are thinking they're getting interest-free mortgages. That's not what it is. Okay, so just to be really clear, they're still paying for the privilege of having a mortgage, but the lenders are just doing it in a roundabout way, okay, where they're including it. So I will say this, the best thing to do if you need a halal mortgage is there's a couple of brokers that work with these products. I wouldn't even get involved because I wouldn't want to disrespect the faith, the Muslim faith, with my ignorance of it all. I would probably, get it to the right person who could help. Right. So, so guys, when you hear this halal mortgage thing, it's not They're not getting interest-free mortgages. That's not where they're going with this. Again, the federal government just took something that was already happening and said it's a new thing, right? So anyway, just to set the record straight with Halal Mortgages, that's not the case. They're not getting interest-free mortgages. It's been around for a while. It is a type of mortgage that's very specialized to that faith. And hey, listen, if it helps a new Canadian, get into a house and it's fair for all, hey, it's all good, right? It is what it is. So all right, so I wanted to address that because I've seen some kind of hate going around about that, and that's not cool because that's just not what it is. Okay. I want to set some context before I go into the federal government fiasco. Okay, and I've got some numbers and some thoughts, and then let's go into the federal budget. So just some simple numbers to understand. Now, full disclosure, I am a homeowner. I'm a real estate investor. It is what it is. Okay. I was a renter before. I lived in lower cost housing. I did. Okay. Moved out when I was 18. Rented a room. I understand what it is to live paycheck by paycheck. I understand it. Absolutely. I 100% understand. I've been there. So I've got both sides of the fence here from an understanding perspective. Okay. So some simple numbers. Here's the reality in Canada. 2/3 of people own their own home. 2/3 own real estate. Okay. Is it in the government's best interest to try to get elected under the premise that they are going to bring house prices down to make them more affordable? Probably not. Think about that for a second. 2/3 of people you're going to be pissing off. Because in Canada, you got to remember this. We like to build our wealth, unlike our neighbors to the south. We like to build our wealth through real estate. It's a thing. It is our little business. I use the term ma and pa shops. Okay. As opposed to other countries might just be to have a business. I have a flower shop. I have a this. I have a that. In Canada, it's housing. Again, I'm personally a real estate investor myself. Okay. But that's how we build our wealth in Canada, is through real estate. It has been embedded in us for years. That's how you build wealth. We all know that. I even tell my clients this, and this is a scary understanding. But let's just think about this for a second. If it's almost impossible to get approved for a mortgage, if you're a homeowner already, do you not have an asset that nobody else can have? Don't you have something that nobody else can possibly get? Think about that for a second. But that's what's embedded. That's how we do it in Canada. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, whatever. And I've heard the other side of the coin where housing should be a right for all, right? Which I get 100%. But that's not what's gone on. It's just not what's played out here. Did levels of government lose complete control around 2016 to 2017? Yeah, I know there were rule changes that came in 2017, but right around that time was the time to maybe bring in additional rules to slow things down. Instead, they just let this thing frickin' go. Runaway train, baby. Right? So I'm telling you, they can't have house prices come down. That's not going to be an election thing. You're pissing off 2/3 of the people out there. So that's not going to happen. All right. Now, I think what we need to do, what we have to really consider, is adding lower cost housing for all. Maintaining existing prices, because I think that's where we're just set. For all the reasons I just said, we just can't have prices just drop out of nowhere. Not only what's been embedded in us with houses being our assets, but also, future future generations, the people who have houses right now is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. People who have houses right now will lose their mind. We'll go into a financial crisis. Have a look at our friends in 2008 in the US. And one more little thing on that before I go into the solution, possibly. Think about it. And you're going to put two and two together here in a second, okay? If I'm the federal government, I can't have people thinking housing is tanking. No one's going to buy a damn house. Come back to that comment I said about asset, you got someone no one else can get. Well, if that whole thing now is the house, it's not good to buy a house, and we have it embedded in our minds that our house is our biggest asset, in some cases our retirement plans, who the hell's going to buy a house? We got a bit of a catch-22 here. So I think what we really, really need here is not to have necessarily house prices come down. We need we need more housing, affordable housing. Think about that for a second. Affordable housing is what we need. And we don't need a little bit here and there, my friends. We need a whole shit ton of affordable housing now. Not going to happen, but that's probably possibly the solution. Supply and demand. Right now, we're still short on supply. Like millions of homes we are short on. The way you stabilize things, you bring in supply. It's very simple. And this is where things could have been probably brought under control in 2017, 2018. But too many people were making too much damn money to even think about this. So let's now go into that's my segue into the federal government. How do I put this nicely? The federal government, just complete crap that they're promising. Please, I'm not even getting political. Right? It doesn't even matter. I don't care if it's liberal, PC, NDP. I really don't care, to be honest with you. The fact that they came out with these numbers, you guys should all be really pissed off. Like, seriously, pissed. They're promising 3.9 million new homes to be built by 2031. 7 years. Now, I'm going to totally steal an idea off of a podcast host that I quite enjoy listening to. Steve, I always pronounce his last name wrong. Steve Sareski, I believe it is. Okay, and he did some simple math, and I did my own math. I did the math a little bit differently. But when I heard him do the math on this, I thought, damn, I'm doing that too. But I just did it a little bit differently. So let's just put the numbers in perspective. Okay, 3.9 million homes. 3.8 for people on the audio only. I'm doing the whole what do you call Austin Powers? 3.9 million homes. Not a freaking chance, guys. Like it's not a chance. Because here it is by the numbers. That would mean they would have to build. Are you ready for this? 557,000 homes per year. Per year. A number I did steal from Steve that I just want to give credit to him for, that he clearly did the research on this one. The highest number of homes we've ever had built in 1 year was 274,000 in 1974. Those of you keeping track, that's before I was born. And most of them apparently were mobile homes. Again, I'm just giving him credit. He did that research. I don't want to steal that from him. So you're telling me we're going to double this? Yeah, not a friggin' chance. I'm just going to keep breaking this bad boy down, okay? For between now till 2031, we have to have completed just over 1,500 homes per day. I just one more. Since I was on my calculator, I want one more. 63 homes per hour. And that's not taking time off, guys. That's like we're working through Christmas. We're working through Canada Day. No May 2-4, got to build homes. Because we have so many tradespeople sitting around doing nothing. Right? I mean, to be honest, we're short 20,000 tradespeople, but I'm sure there's lots to build these homes. Someone needs to nail down how the hell they expect to do this. This doesn't make any sense, guys. This is This is so far pulling numbers out of your ass. I don't even get it. And interest rates are a little higher than expected. I'm not sure if you guys have heard that anywhere. Builders ain't building. I've said that almost every damn podcast. Builders are not building homes right now. They're golfing. Can't afford to do it. So it's awesome that Disney Plus lady, Christia Freeland, who couldn't answer, I don't think I've ever heard her actually answer a question, comes out and says, oh, brand new homes, first-time home buyers, default insured, 30-year amortizations. Pointless. You know, the new build market that you buy on speculation and people got screwed over on in 2022. Yeah, let's put our first-time homebuyers at that risk. Absolutely. Giddy up. You got to be freaking kidding me. Like, I don't. This is painful. Like, can someone just be like, guys, before you pull numbers out of your ass, please let them make sense. If they said 2 million homes, all right, well, we're trying. All right, okay, we're a little bit closer to reality. Right now, we're on fucking Mars at 3.9 million. Are you kidding me? If I sound frustrated, I am. Okay, call it what it is. Let's move on. Let's talk about the capital gains issue. Because this thing, I had to do some work on this. I had to try to figure this one out, and I did some research. And you know, this is gonna hurt. And I think the notion is, let's nail to the wall those big bad real estate investors. I heard one guy on TikTok. I agree with about 50% of what he says. And he's like, you know what? If someone's selling their cottage and they have to pay more in tax, too bad. Fair enough. Okay, I get it. That's fair. What will be really sad if it's a cottage maybe they inherited or they worked their ass off to get. But again, that's that negative. Well, who cares? It's just a realtor who's being impacted, or a mortgage broker, or someone who can afford it. Like, you know what? Like, whatever. Like, let's not take away from what people have done in their lives, right? Like that kind of irritates me a little bit. But because here's the thing. Let's just keep talking about this, okay? So simply put, and I'm not an accountant, so don't take this as financial advice. Please do not. But remember this: capital gains are very common when you're self-employed as well, and businesses, etc. It's not just real estate investors. So I think that's where they're going here. Let's nail real estate investors. And listen, when the Liberal government talks about this impacting 0.13% of Canadians, it's the same person who gave the government the numbers on the number of homes, right? I think they've been high since pot became legal a few years ago. Because there's no friggin' way. There's a lot more domino effect problems here that the Liberal government has completely lost sight of. Now, I will say this on the other side of the equation. Yes, if you make lots and lots of money and you know you've earned it the whole bit, yeah, I think paying a little more taxes, not a bad thing. Fair enough. Okay. But here's the problem. This is any capital gains. This isn't just real estate investors. This is any capital gains. Okay. So if I'm a business and I'm going to get freaking hammered with goddamn taxes, why would I bother coming to Canada to do anything? And I'm thinking tech sector, thinking doctors, because a lot of these, like there's a lot of people. Again, let's not talk about realtors, mortgage brokers, people who are incorporated. Okay, but everyone wants to hate on realtors and brokers and whoever. But what about professional people who are incorporated for a reason? And sometimes that reason, and you got to remember, a business owner, sometimes their retirement plan is their business. It's not an RSP, okay? There's a lot of other ways to invest. And so when you're going after business and possible innovation, or let's say, again, a doctor, because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we're a little short doctors in this country, a little bit. In-laws were on a 6-year waiting list for a family doctor down east. So they had to move back to Ontario, didn't get a damn doctor. Down east, had to come back to Ontario to get a doctor. That's not good. Like, this is not good, guys. And to be clear on this, too, the 250,000 they're talking about, you're exempt up to the 250 if you're a real estate investor and you're selling like an asset or something like that, but you got to pay it on the difference. But there are some corporations that there is no exemption. So if you're here's a really good example. You are a plumber, a carpenter. You worked your ass off your whole life, and you go to sell your business. One time in 1 year, you sell it for $2 million. I'm just making numbers up here, okay? That's your retirement. You've worked this whole time. Your retirement plan is your business. You're paying that 67% tax on selling your business, which is your retirement plan. So if I'm a business, do I stay in Canada? Probably not. Probably not. I'm a carpenter. I've worked 30 years of my life, right? Long hours, back-breaking work. Maybe I just don't do my business here. Go to the US. Go somewhere else. I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing. People love to hate real estate investors. I get it. But if I can come back to my original point, you know, this is what the Canadian way has always been. I'm not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, whatever. But that's what our thing is here. Right? We invest in real estate to build wealth. It is what it is. So what is this? And again, guys, I want to reiterate, I'm not an accountant. So if I've gotten something wrong here, I would love to know, like legit, tell me if I've gotten something wrong here. Okay, from a federal budget perspective. So I've tried to do my own research. Again, not an accountant. I should probably have an accountant on to fact check all this, but whatever. So what now? Well, let's just call this what it is. Okay. I've said this before, it's Kathleen Wynne 2.0. Gotta buy friggin' votes. Gotta keep people happy who are gonna vote for us. Because right now, the Liberals aren't getting in. Like, they can do whatever they want. They're not getting in. Like, if they get in, I'm not sure what's worse. Oh, this is gonna be controversial. Ready for this? I'm not sure what's worse. Justin Trudeau, Disney Plus lady coming back, or Donald Trump getting into office. Oh, don't shut off the podcast right away. I'm just kind of more of a joke than anything. Don't lose your mind, please, please, please. But I don't know, man, because this is not good. Okay. Anyway, there's some numbers for you guys. Don't challenge this stuff, man. Challenge your member of parliament on this crap. 3.9 million homes in 7 years? Seriously. Like, what's the date today? Well, that makes sense. We're right around 420. I'm recording this on Sunday, April 21st. So, yeah, maybe they got into the wacky tacky a little bit early. All right. That's all I got, guys. I just want to kind of give you a couple of things out of the federal budget. There's a lot more, I'm sure, to dive into. I'm sure more will come up. I'm sure there's stuff I haven't even come across yet. Okay. But the capital gains issue, the housing promises that are crap, and just understanding the numbers, and there's more to it than this. I don't know what's going to happen. This is sucky. This is not, that's my professional term. Sucky. All right. I'll leave it there. That's half an hour. Oh, almost to the minute. Any questions? I would love to hear your comments on this. This is something that really kind of transcends upper class, middle class, lower class. There's all sorts of little moving parts here. Okay. And I think it'll be interesting. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Okay. And again, reiterate, I'm not an accountant. This is not financial advice to you to say, go do this or that or the other thing. But love to hear your comments on it. All right. Anyway, like me, love me, follow me, desire me, want me, whatever. 5 stars. Until next time, keep fit, have fun, and goodbye.